Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. I need each and every vessel to hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the Galactic family, the GCVs, and of course, Drew Nation. Let's get right into it. Old programming will no longer serve you in the world we live in. And if you think it will, you're setting yourself up. Let's get right into it. Old programming. Thinking that you can live like people did anywhere from even 10 to, I would say maybe 10 to 30 years ago is not going to work out well for you. The things that used to be set in place as like social structure is depleting, if not fully depleted. And the things that people valued as far as like 10 to 30 years ago is not being valued really. And I'm going to show you proof. When you look on TV today, there are a lot of different things on television today, and just a lot of things in general that were valued aren't being valued, and some of them are even being attacked. When you look at marriage is being attacked. All right. When you look at family is definitely under attack. Um, when you look at relationships and things like that, they're under attack. When you look at just having morals and just like having standards for yourself, people having standards for themselves, they're being attacked. People really don't care about how they're perceived as much, and they're willing to just behave any kind of old way. And that really doesn't do well when you have people who are trying to operate under the same program that people have been operating under for the last 10 to 30 years. And that's at least in certain countries. All right. In certain countries, they still have moral values. They still have values, period. They still have family values. People still hold themselves to a higher standard. People still have, they hold themselves to some type of moral compass. There are people that in certain countries, primarily like America and things like that, they're like America and people in our country and things like that, they just don't, it's just like, and it's not even, it's the people, but it's also the programs that are being put out. People are being programmed by television to not value certain value systems and not value certain programs anymore. And it's all due to like what's being put out on TV and what people are being programmed with. You look at TV shows maybe 15, 25, 30 years ago, they had I mean it's pretty much the same thing kind of, but they had like family values. People cared about family. People cared about each other a lot more. All right, things were a lot less cutthroat. You know, they still had your movies where people were getting like shot up and shoot them up, bang bang, and stuff like that. But they had a balance. People knew that those were just movies. People knew that that was just a movie, and you still had people who lived like that. You know, in certain aspects of life, but even them, they still have values. They still have like morals and things like that. You wouldn't go shoot up somebody's grandma's house. You wouldn't go shoot up some children and things like that. And just the way things are going, like that we are under a totally whole new program. All right. They just had the Super Bowl the other day, and somebody went and shot up the Super Bowl party. Somebody just went up and just, you know what, either their team lost. I hope that's not what it was. All right. And God bless the people who got injured and everything like that. But if it's somebody, I hope it wasn't because somebody lost, but it was most likely probably like another one of those mass shooting kind of things. And people are going up and shooting stuff up just because something is didn't go right for them, or something didn't work out for them. And like as of lately, like the 15 last 15 to like, I say the last 10 to 15 years, this thing has been happening a lot more. And people just like overall, like with the way the things are going from just my perspective, and my point of view, like, not to say that it always hasn't, but just a lot more. It's like there's a lot less value for life. There's a lot less value for life and being alive. All right. There are a lot of people who don't value their own life. A lot more of that is happening. And there are a lot of people who don't value life, period. And I believe it's due to a lot of imbalance with like social media and things like that. People are just looking at things, and it's like everybody wants things instantly now. Nobody is really willing to work for things. And I think that's a part of it. Of course, a lot of it is like psychological issues, mental issues, and things like that. But it seems like mental health is like declining, and you have to care about your own mental health, because a lot of people are snapping, and they're snapping in more ways than one. All right. This isn't the only subject I'm going to talk about. That's just what I wanted to speak on briefly. But there are a lot of more like mass shootings and things like that. And I'm going to lead up to why I think that's happening. And I think it's happening because like family has like a lot of people's family values have just like gone out the window. Um, a lot of people's personal values have just gone out the window. They're programming people to be heartless. They're programming people to not care. All right. They're programming people to be okay with like mass murder and death and just a whole bunch of negative things. That's why you really have to be careful, like what you take in, what you watch, things like that. Um, they're like people are okay, and it's just like the norm to just have people, be okay with death. And it's like they're being desensitized. That's the word I'm looking for. People are more desensitized to things like death and murder and things that just shouldn't be happening more than ever. And these things have always been happening, but it's never been like a social norm. It's never been like something to where it's like, oh, okay, that happened. People would be like, oh my God, that happened. Now, when things happen, people are just like, oh, okay, because like it's happening on such a grand scale. And it's just like, when is it going to come to an end? When are these things going to stop? When are these things going to like, when is there going to be some type of prevention for these kinds of things? And a lot of it is due to people not being grateful, people not having gratitude, people not thinking that their life means something, people not thinking that their life has value. And that's why I said like value for life is just like kind of going out the window. And that's not the only thing. um, a lot of things are just like people just don't care about them anymore, like self-image. A lot of people just don't care about their self-image, right? Nobody cares about relationships anymore, nobody cares about marriage anymore. And it's just like nobody cares about just being like nobody cares about being like how they represent themselves anymore. People are just doing whatever they feel like doing, and it's okay to do the things that you like to do, but there has to be some type of moral compass. It has to be some type of like some type of social structure. But with the way the things that they're pumping out into society, it's like there's no more like that is like declining. People just don't care about it anymore. You would watch shows like Family Matter, Full House, Seventh Heaven, things like that. They had at least some type of mom and dad situation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was some type of family situation. Like Urkel, he ain't have no family, but he could always go over to their house and, be part of their family and things like that. Like from what I see, they still have shows and they still have things like that, but it's a lot of just like the internet is like kind of like ruining things. And but it just seems like nobody cares about certain things anymore, like marriage. Like people are divorcing at a higher rate. People are like cheating on each other and things like that. And that's why a lot of people don't want to get married. All right. A lot of people don't want to get married because they see what's happening in society. They see how people are dressing. They see how people, like couples, are moving. They see how people are treating each other when they're married and they're together and things like that. It's like if you didn't get married like anywhere from like, I'd say like 30 years ago, it's like kind of like you have really have to be in it to win it, like have like hit the lottery kind of thing if you have a decent marriage. Because from what you could just see and look out when you see people talk about it, when you see things on social media, it's like people just don't care. They rather like they want to live like their best life kind of thing, regardless of whether they're married or not. They don't care about how their partner feels. They don't care about how their boyfriend or girlfriend feels. People are just treating people however they want to treat people. And for all that, it's best to just be by yourself, because having kids and things like that, people are getting caught up in this child support system and all these things. And like outside looking in, it just seems like it's not worth it. It just seems like it's nothing that you would want to be a part of if you're not already a part of it, because you see what people are going through. Luckily for like for videos and for the internet, for the positive side of things, people outside looking in are able to gain some type of they're able to gain some type of like knowledge on these things before they jump into it. And it's just like people just don't value marriage the same anymore. Just like life, people don't value marriage anymore. You have people cheating on other people. You got people wanting to be city girls and stuff like that. And it's different when it's a younger person. They should still have some type of morals. But when you're an older person, or when you're like a not even older, but when you're a mature person, because I understand you still have to live your life too, but it doesn't really make sense for you to be acting in a way to where you're acting immature, or acting like a child, or acting in a way to where it's unbecoming of you as a person, just because you see other people acting like that. But you are at fault. But then again, you're really not 75% you, I would say, and 25% the system and things like that, because they're pushing an agenda. They're pushing a lot of different like type of spirits out there. And when people are on their phones 24/7, it's like kind of like impossible to not take some of that in, but you have to fight it. And that's why like the most spiritual battle you'll have is really against you and yourself, because of the things that they're pushing, the things that they're putting out, the things that they want you to be. They want this to be society. They want people to be dressing like they ain't got no self-respect. They want people to be out here just just doing all that stuff. All right, I ain't got to get into it, but the whole they basically want you to live like the images and the stuff that they're pushing out. And it's different if people were to do that inside their home, or do that for their significant other, or things like that, to be. But they basically, what I'm saying is, they're pushing ratchet culture on people, and they want people to just be ratchet. They want society to turn into one big ratchet circus. And if you can see that, like if you got eyes to see, you see that. All right. You see that they want everybody to be ratchet. All right. Brother tried to have a restaurant, and he got grown women twerking in his professional restaurant. He's trying to run his business, and he got some women standing up on the table shaking their little booties and stuff like that. And it's like, why would you think that's okay? And the reason why they think that's okay is because of social media, because the internet, because of the images of the things that are being pushed. All right, a positive message will probably get like a certain amount of views, but it probably won't get as much as somebody doing something ratchet. And they want people to be ratchet. There's nothing wrong with firearms and protecting yourself and all those things, but They want people to just be killing each other. They want people to just be acting a fool. They want people to just, just be wilding out. And not to say these things have never happened. These things, I'm sure, have always been here because it's nothing new under the sun. But the way that there is being pushed in front of people, it's like they don't want you to have a choice. They're basically saying, "Yo, be this." They're not giving you any other choice. Like, yo, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be this. They're like, yo, be ratchet. Be ratchet or else. And it's like it's a demonic frequency being pushed to where if you're not a part of that, then it's like you're going to be excluded. People are going to have something against you. It's like your frequency is not going to resonate with the people who are vibrating low like that, and not to discredit anybody because everybody works on themselves, everybody evolves or wakes up at a different point in time. But for them to, and I'm not really even coming at the people, it's the wickedness that's being pushed, and they know better. They know what they're doing. They know that they're using this divisively, and they're deviously using this and putting these things out to try to change people. All right, they're trying to change people's character. People who've been married for a certain amount of years, been a respectable person, now because they see certain females and certain men doing certain things, it's like, yo, I'm gonna do that, or yo, I'm gonna do that. And it's like, you don't have to do that to gain enjoyment from life. All right, they got people with this whole FOMO thing, fear of missing out. You're not missing out on anything. The only thing you may be missing out on, being a person that's respected. You may be missing out on being a person that's righteous. All right, you may be missing out on being a person that would be deemed as somebody of a higher standard. All right, that's what you may be missing out on. But you should hold yourself to a higher standard, and you shouldn't. I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but it's really like it's to the point to where it's like, come on now, you know better. But they're pushing this whole agenda. They want people to act a certain way. Didn't I think the vice president or something was twerking or something like that? They had Kamala Harris doing some kind of twerk, or somebody was twerking that shit. Oh nah, somebody was running for president. Excuse me, Kamala Harris. Somebody was running for president and was twerking. And it's like, yo, like you that can't like that's something that that's something that people get paid professionally to do, and they do it in clubs, and they do that stuff in strip clubs, man. Like, you shouldn't be running for no office pretending or acting like no stripper, man. you know and it's just like, where is the decency at? Where is the self-respect at? And it's like, in the right place, in the right time, hey, I'm not knocking it. I'm a man, but in the right place, in the right time, behind closed doors, where you could do whatever you want. If you doing it for your man or whatever, or y'all, having a good time, I ain't knocking it. But to make that type of stuff like public like that, and to think that that's okay, it's like you're not trying to spread awareness or nothing. You're not trying to make anybody, like, how's that going to make somebody better? How's that going to improve somebody's life? How's that going to help the situation with certain people that are going through certain things, where they already got enough stuff being pushed on them already? A lot of people have already touched on, like, the sexy reds and the city girls and all that stuff, and I really don't have. I mean, I have an issue with that, but like, people are grown, and grown people can do whatever they want. But it's like, you should be aware of the effects that have on younger people, because it's like, people with a job, and people who are like in their mid 20s and 30s and things like that, and up, they may entertain that, they may enjoy that, but they're doing that, like, they're either doing it in the comfort of their own home, or they may be doing it out at the club somewhere. But it's like, it's different when you have younger people, and you're training them up to be a Jezebel. All right, you should, like, people should not be training up other people to just have like a Jezebel spirit, like a spirit to where that's all you want to do. And it's like, they're making people think that that's it, like that is all people want to do. And like I said, I'm not knocking it when you in your little closed quarters or whatever, or you doing your thing, and it's just you privately, kind of thing. But like, the way it's being pushed and the way it's being put out there, is no possible way that, like, anybody with anybody that's aware would take marriage seriously. And it's like you have people out here acting like that want to be taken seriously, and you can't take nobody seriously like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just keeping it real. Like nobody's gonna like no real man is gonna take something like that serious. All right, no real man is gonna take anyone like that serious. All right. Just like if a man wasn't acting like a man, you wouldn't take him serious, right? Like people want certain things to be how they want it to be, but then when it comes to other things, it's like I could just do whatever I want and you should accept it, and that's that. Like that's why me personally, like I'm like marriage isn't it right now, and for me personally, like having children ain't it right now, because I just see how things are going, and it's like it's got to be some type of reform. It's got to be like some type of positive change or something. And I know it's like you can't change the world kind of thing, but it's like yo, I like the people. I may not be able to like, and I'm not even trying to make it that big of a deal as far as like, yo, you could change the world. Like, yo, you could have some positive impacts and some positive changes on people and things like that. But at the end of the day, people are still going to do what they want to do. And you know what I mean? There are people who are young and they're just living their life. We all were young once, you know. Some people they're just going through their little ratchet phase right now, but to try to turn the whole entire world into like ratchetness, all right, to try to, because like there are people who are going in corporate rooms putting on suits and changing the way they act and signing like contracts and stuff like that. They're not, they may act like that on like the internet or whatever to promote themselves or promote their brand or whatever they're doing, but they're that's not them 24/7 all the time. All right. And even if it is, they're probably going to eventually change anyway if they want to be a wife, because a lot of these social media people, they're married. Like the people that be acting ratchet and talking about all that stuff, they got a husband. They got somebody that they're with, and it's like still, it's like how can you take that serious? You know? So it's like they have people who are not entertainers wanting to act like an entertainer. And it's like, no, you can't be taken serious if that's not what you do. And even depending on what you do, it still may not be taken serious. So, you know, just like old programming is just not going to work. Like if you think you out here and like gonna find like somebody to marry and stuff like that, I'd be careful, because it's just like a lot of people are getting married and they're getting married and still living their single life. And that's the only reason why I'm getting at this. I'm not knocking nobody enjoying themselves. I'm not knocking nobody having a good time. Yes, you're allowed to dance. Yeah, you're allowed to have a good time, you know, have fun, do you, enjoy your life kind of thing. But when it comes to like it's a certain time and a place for things, I will say that. And it's a certain person that you have to be when you are accepting certain roles, you know, like it that like none of that should be in a classroom, none of that should be in a professional setting, none of that should be at somebody's restaurant, none of that should be, you know. But who am I to say? I'm just, you know, dropping a little positive message kind of thing. You know, I'm not knocking nobody. You know, people are gonna do what they want to do anyway. People are gonna enjoy themselves and have fun, and people are gonna live their life. But it's like how you like people want you to look at them a certain type of way, and it's like why would you want to get into a relationship with somebody like that? Why would you want to marry somebody like that? Why would you want to have a child with somebody like that? Like men have to think, and people just have to think in general. It's like I know there's not all positive dudes out there. There's some like ratchet dudes out there, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to come at people personally or how they choose to live their life, because everybody's background is different. Everybody grew up different. Everybody, you know, knows different. But the thing is, my beef is not with the people necessarily. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't have beef with the people and what they're doing. It's just the agenda that's being pushed. Because if it was something being different being pushed, people wouldn't be acting like that. And the proof is you could look at the ages and the times that people were living in and what was being pushed and what was going on, and you could see where it led up to this. Now that whatever is being pushed, everybody wants to be that. They're pushing certain things. Everybody wants to be or do what's having pushed. I mean, what they're pushing. Everybody wants to have that type of image or have that type of look. And it's like when this stuff is over with, you know, all we're going to be left with is a whole bunch of like toxic stuff. Just a whole bunch of toxic people wanting to be ratchet and stuff like that still. So they're doing this by design. They're pushing a lot of stuff, and you could tell that it's programming because they got that video of them little preschool girls. All right, every other short you flip up, you see them hands on your knees kind of thing. It's like, yo, like when is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like where's the finish line? When does it end? And it's like, yo, you like if you bring if you bring somebody up like that, if somebody is brought up doing that, how you think they're gonna act when they actually figure out what that stuff is? They know what that is. Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, what type of spirit is that putting on an individual? You know what I'm saying? And we're not perfect, we all fall short of the glory of God. All we could do is do our best. But it's like, if we not even doing our best, and we just comfortable with just doing our less, you know what I mean? Like, what's really good with, like, where are we headed? You know what I'm saying? Just food for thought, just something to think. I'm not coming at nobody personally. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. God has his hand on all of us. He's working with all of us. He's working with his children. So it's like, I'm just here to just bring some awareness to what I see, and I'm just making a video on what I think. So I mean, I really don't see no purpose in, like, just like being in a relationship or getting married or anything like that, because it's like values just aren't there. And I know you got to find the right person and stuff like that. So it's like, me personally, I still don't see the value in it, just because it's like, just the way certain people behave and certain people act. And people got the right to live how they want to live. But it's just, I'm choosing to live my life how I want to live it, kind of thing. And I can't knock nobody else for choosing how they want to live their life. But it's just a lot of stuff is just like upside down, topsy turvy, inside out, and just backwards. And I'm not setting myself up to get into no, I'm not setting myself to get up into something that I'd eventually want to get out of. Cause I just personally have my own views on things as a man, and I understand how things are supposed to be for a man. And it's like, I can't push my ways on anybody else, but I'm not gonna have nobody else push their ways on me, kind of thing. So it's like, and when you like marriage and stuff like that, how it's set up in the Western society and in the Western world, it just like the man has like, it screws a man over. You know what I'm saying? That marriage is not, if the people in that marriage aren't in it to win it, that the man is screwed. And the female could just go off and just live her life, kind of thing. And I wouldn't just put myself in no position like that. That's all I'm saying, straight up. That's what it is. Like, no sugarcoating it, no nothing. I just would not put myself in no situation to where I lose all my power and I'm screwed because of the stuff that they're putting out, and the stuff that they're pushing out, because they're programming, you know what I'm saying, the person that I'm with to go out and just be ratchet. And it's like, it's not really the people, it's the people. You have a choice, but it's like, when her friends is doing it, when all she's doing is looking at it and seeing it, it's like, social media has like ruined the minds of people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's programming people, and it's called social media because it's a social experiment. Like, all the stuff you're watching, all the things that you're into, it's like, an experiment on you. Like, an experiment is being done on the people, like lab rats. And it's like, how you see lab rats in a maze, and they put the cheese out there, or they have like the dripping water, and they put like some type of opiate or something in the water or something like that. And then like whatever there is, it's like, this stuff is like a drug. And they're just, people are just doing what they see. People are being programmed, and hey, it is what it is. But like, just program yourself with the right things. Program yourself with things, because I mean, regardless or not, like, you're being programmed. Like, even down to a positive video, like, you're still being programmed. Like, they don't call it TV PG for nothing. It's called television programming. Even before phones and stuff like that, people were being programmed, but with television. So it's like, just be mindful of the stuff that you're into and what you watch and things like that. Like I said, nobody's perfect. I'm not coming at nobody with this video. I just, I'm the type of person, I just wish people the best and stuff like that. So, I just put a little new flavor in your ear, put a little different, put something different in the YouTube streets that's out there, and that's pretty much it. But from what I see, like old programs, it's just not worth it. Like people, like another old program, like people don't even fight no more. People would just shoot the people would just bust a cap in your stuff, you know. So it's like it's just a lot of stuff that's just like changed, and it's like like the world changes and stuff like that, but like you just have to be mindful because things aren't the way they used to be, and you have to be aware of that, you know. And just to go into things blindly thinking like you're about to get a result like 20, 30 years ago with anything, you know, and you think that that's the way it's going to go, and it may not go that way. Not to say it won't, but if it doesn't go that way, it's like what did you expect kind of thing. Like it's a lot of proof out there that lets you know that that's not the way things are going to go, and it's just down to people's choices. Like there are a lot of people who are probably acting ratchet who will probably grow out of it and become upstanding people of society, and whether they choose to do that is none of my business. And not and you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to control or make anybody do that, but just like to see where how they have people acting and to see where they have things going because of the programs they're putting out there, just like with foresight and being able to see. It's just like, yo, that's wild that how that's how they would want people to act, and that's how they would want people to be. But like social structure, and I'm not the first person to say stuff like this, I'm not the first person to see this or point this out, but it's just like, you know, social structure is out of here. All right, social structure is out of here. It's a lot of things that are out of here. Like it's just a lot of things that have changed. And if you are running off of old programs, I'll just be wise when you make decisions, because it's a lot of stuff that has changed, and a lot of people aren't acting the same way anymore, and a lot of things aren't the same anymore. So I would just be mindful, and I would just be careful, and I would definitely just see things through before you make any like final decisions kind of thing. All right, so it's just been another Drew Tube special. Shout out to the chosen vessels. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Peace, love, and light. We out.